I've been involved in the Pokemon community for quite some time. I came in a little bit later than a lot of people. I started right around the Team Rocket era, so a little bit later, but I was heavily involved fairly quickly. I was very, very interested in kind of talking with people. I couldn't find a whole lot of friends in my area who were still into Pokemon really once Gen 2 came out, so I started really kind of perusing the internet, found different forums like Pokemon Trading Card Game Online and Pokegym and Pojo, and just kind of started talking and getting a better understanding of Pokemon in general, because I wore a bunch of different hats throughout the years. At that time, I really wanted to get in collecting, and I was still very, very young, and I stayed involved in collecting really throughout the entire Wizards of the Coast era, all the way up until like EX Ruby Sapphire, where I started falling out a little bit because life was getting in the way. High school and college were going on, so it was a little bit more difficult to kind of find people to kind of keep my interest in there. And then I came back right around the XY era, where I was like, okay, I want to play this game competitively. This game was a lot of fun when I was younger. I want to learn more about it. So because of that, I really had to get a good understanding of the black and white generation, because it was so important to the format. You know, Virizion Genesect was a huge, huge thing going on. Really wanted to get a good understanding of the competitive play if I was going to be traveling around to tournaments. And then when I started realizing and understanding that competitive play at a high level takes a lot of energy, a lot of attention, and it means you're constantly on the go because you're traveling every weekend or every other weekend going around to regional events. So when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do that, I kind of put my business hat on and started really trying to understand things from a business mindset. And one of the things that's a lot different now in today's Pokemon market compared to what it was like when I first kind of entered the business scene for Pokemon is graded cards. Grading wasn't something that a lot of people did. It was something that we did do, but not a ton. I remember throughout the first couple years, maybe 2-3 years of being a business owner with Pokemon, I may have graded 150 cards total. And it was really cards that I wanted to keep in my collection, or I wanted to preserve, I wanted to encase, I wanted to make sure that that condition that was validated and would stay the same. And I know you can use top loaders and you can use card savers and you can use things like that, but there was something about getting that validation and really putting them in a real safe and secure encapsulation method that was important to me. That it told a story. It was an important card to me. I wanted to make sure that I got it graded. And it was always PSA. PSA was what I always used. There's only really two big players in the market for Pokemon cards, and that was PSA and Beckett. And PSA was the one that I was recommended. It was the one that I was comfortable with, so that was what I used. Fast forward a couple years, over the past couple years now, with the demand of Pokemon, how crazy everything has been, I get asked about grading a lot. And PSA was what I was using. So PSA was really what I recommended for the past couple of years. And now when I get asked that question, I've been very, very confused at what the answer should be. I started sending out cards to PSA a lot more frequently in 2020, late of 2020. So there's this giant boom going on. We had all this issue going on with bulk submissions at PSA where they ended up closing up shop for a while so that way they could hammer through a bunch of them in April of 2021. And there's a lot of information out there on grading companies, both good and bad information. But for me, like, I wanted to kind of wait it out, see how things were going. I understood PSA's standpoint. I understood that they had this giant influx of cards that came in, and I wanted to make sure that I could relate myself to that situation. And then 2022 hit, and it got to a point where, okay, well, I have a bulk submission that's been there for 13 months now. And in the meantime, I'm kind of stacking up cards that I want to send out, cards that are important to me, cards that tell a story. There's different areas of grading that you can kind of go into. A lot of people have that FOMO factor, right, where they open up Brilliant Stars. They want to make sure they get the first Black Label or the first PSA 10 or the first whatever card on the market when it comes to their alternate Charizard or their Charizard VMAX or their Umbreon VMAX or whatever the case may be. They send cards out right away, focusing on that resale value. There's a whole business that you can do behind it. But for me, it's always been, I want to protect my cards. I want to protect these cards that have a story. If it's a vintage booster box, I put it in an acrylic case. If it's an ETB, I put it in an acrylic case. If it's an older ETB, it's not really that much different if it's a single piece of cardboard that I want to protect for a very, very long time. So PSA was kind of what I was waiting to continue going with because it was what I knew. But then when 2022 hit and I got to that 13-month point and I was stockpiling some cards, I was like, well, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to recommend because here we are 13 months in. I don't know what to say to get these cards back quicker. So I reached out to PSA and I started talking to them and I just say, hey, what's going on with this? What does this look like as far as the return goes? And I got kind of a standard answer back as far as their bulk returns. We're trying to get through them as quickly as possible, but we're not going in any order, right? We're just kind of taking them when we have time, focusing on the customers who have paid for a quicker return most recently, and then once we have a free moment, we kind of go back then, grab some of those bulk orders and get through them. And I was like, okay, I understand. And then February hit, and then here we are 14 months out, and then March hit, and then we're 15 months out. And meanwhile, I'm stockpiling cards that I want to send off. So I've got all these cards here, and I've got just an entire box of cards that I'm like, well, these are cards that I want to get graded. These are cards that I want to be encased. I don't know what to do right now because I don't want to pay this super expensive price for a quicker turnaround, and I'm just the bulk time is just taking way too long, and there isn't a bulk price that even exists right now. So I was just getting very, very frustrated. Didn't know what to do. So I started looking around at the other grading companies, and I knew at the time I wanted to kind of focus on just the big three because I'm looking for longevity for a long time. I want these cards to be preserved and encased for a long time, and also to have some relevance for a long time. So I was like, okay, well, let me look at Beckett a little bit. Let me look at CGC, and CGC was kind of the newer in the game. Like, they had a lot of experience when it came to comic books and other grading methods, but not necessarily Pokemon. So I started looking at Beckett and started looking up some of the concerns about Beckett, and I was like, okay, well, here, let me reach out to CGC now. So I reached out to CGC, and there's a lot of really good information out there on different videos. SM Pratt has good videos, Rattle has good videos, Pokeknowledge has good videos. There's a lot of good videos out there about concerns when it comes to CGC, and a lot of good videos out there about good things with CGC. So I did a lot of research, and I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to CGC. I'm going to talk to them and kind of see what's going on, what we're looking at for the future. And I ended up actually flying down there and sitting down with CGC, meeting with them, and talking about my concerns and what I like and what I want moving forward and things like that. And it really felt like my voice was being heard. And it mattered to me that my voice was being heard. And we can complain as a community, we can talk about as a community, and the only way things are going to get better is if we try and help them along. So I started working with CGC a little bit more closely, and as you saw yesterday, we had a Topps video that came out with their launch of the Topps program with grading Pokemon cards. I'm very, very excited about the relationship that I've been able to form with CGC, and huge shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. And we're going to go over a return for CGC, but I wanted to kind of give a story about why it was important to me to kind of work with CGC. Now, CGC moving forward, I'm going to continue working with because of their interest in growing the game. I have plans in place and a work in place to start a competitive team, an actual team that travels around to regional events, working with some of the best players in the United States, with Caleb Gedimer and Azul Grigo and Danny Altavilla, and just kind of going to events and growing the game from a competitive side of things and really trying to move the game forward, and then having my voice be heard where I can kind of go back to them and talk to them about, hey, this is great. What can we do about this? What can we focus on with this? And I think it's important to have that in the community to make sure that we can kind of address these issues. It's one thing to complain about it, but if we're not doing anything to fix it, how's it going to get better? So huge shout out to CGC for kind of listening to me talk about those concerns. They answered a lot of my questions, a lot of things that I wanted to bring up to them, and I really appreciate them taking the time to sit down with me and talk to me about it. There's a lot of different reasons why you might grade cards, and for me, it's a specific reason, and it's as simple as just protecting my cards for the long run. A lot of people don't grade cards at all, and I think that's totally fine. A lot of people think that putting them in top loaders is fine. You don't need to grade cards. A lot of people grade cards just for the resale factor of it. Like I said, they form a business on it, and that's great too. Like, whatever the case may be, there's room for you in this hobby. There's a space for you in this hobby. But for me, it's protecting cards because I like how things look when they're encapsulated and encased, and that was really important to me. So we're going to go through a return here. I'm very, very excited about it. I haven't looked at everything yet. I'm super stoked about it. I've got other graded cards from CGC with Digimon, with Dragon Ball Z that we're going to give away in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun, just kind of getting the community more involved. So if you reach out to me and talk to me about grading, if you have any questions about it, definitely feel free to hit me up. You can message me on Instagram at Danny.Phantump. You can find me on Twitter at Danny__, or you can just hit me up through email, and I'd be more than happy to kind of discuss things with you. I'm very happy with the way things are going. I know there's a lot of inconsistencies out there, and I think CGC is doing a good job of kind of getting that addressed and moving forward. I know they're tough. I know they're a tough grader, and that's okay with me because I want to make sure that my cards are protected for a long time, but I also want, if there is a 10, I want it to be something that's unique, and I think that's important to me as well. So I'm going to flip you guys around here so we can kind of look at things. This is the pile. There's like 25, 26 cards in here that we're going to kind of go through. I don't know exactly what the grades are yet, but I am excited to kind of look through them. They're just important to me, so I'm not going to cover up the label or anything like that. We're just going to kind of look at them. We've got a dark Tyranitar here, which is excellent, near mint, 6.5, got marked down on the surface. Not all of these did I look over like super closely before I sent them off, because like I said, they've been sitting in this box for a while, but they all kind of tell a story and have some importance to me, so I want to keep them around for quite some time. So we've got a dark Tyranitar, 6.5. This is a really fun one, double colorless energy. This is from the North America International Tournament from 2008, 2016. This got a near mint 8, near mint, marked down on the surface a little bit, not too bad. Near mint 8, very cool. Next up, we've got a Professor Program, Professor Juniper 8.5, which isn't bad at all. Marked down a little bit on the surface. Again, these have been sitting in a top loader or in a card saver in a box for quite some time, so I can understand there might be some surface scratching on them. But again, now that they're encapsulated, should last in this condition for a much longer time. Hey-o! I just love this card. This was from regional championships in 2012. This is the Umbreon. So there was a bunch of different evolutions that came out for regional championships. So I should have, I think I have a Glaceon in here. I might even have a Leafeon. I know that it's in the box if it's not in here, so it will get graded eventually. 7.5, not bad. Near mint condition, and near mint is what is important to me. We've got a Staff Ultra Ball from League Cup, 9.5. Holy buckets, that's awesome. 9.5 across the board. This is an Ultra Ball from 2017. Very cool. I just like the look of it, and then staff graded cards are just super cool and unique. Oh my god, the Legendary Collection, Reverse Holo Charizard 7, near mint, not bad at all. Got marked down for the surface, it's only a 6, but that's okay. It's tough with these Reverse Holo cards because you're gonna have surface scratching a lot easier to get that surface scratching. So, woo, we got an 8 for the Suicune Staff, not bad at all. Near mint condition, marked down for the surface again, 7.5. Very, very cool card. So that's from Lost Thunder pre-release as a staff card. Very excited about that. And we've got a Staff Charizard from Team Up. Got an 8.5. So that's a little bit lower than I like, but you can see surface 8.5, edges 8.5 as well. Staff still near mint condition. Very cool. Next up, we've got, the Evolutions. These are some big boys right here. So we've got a Staff Evolutions. I think I've got a regular Evolutions promo in here as well. These were tough to grade. A lot of Evolutions from that first print run. Very, very tough to grade. Surface 8, edges 8, near mint 8 overall. Not too bad. Very exciting. Okay, we've got a Japanese card, an older one. This must be my Blaine's Charizard. And it is 8.5. Not bad. Corners a 10 and centering a 10. Super cool, but the surface brought it down. I can't tell you how long I've had this card for. It has been a very, very long time. So just to see an 8.5 is very exciting for me. That is more than okay with me. There's the Evolutions pre-release Charizard. 8.5. Centering is a 10. That is very, very interesting. 10 centering is super cool. And then an 8.5 on corners and edges. So I brought it down just a little bit. That's okay. 8.5 near mint. Ooh, the Articuno from Generation. This is my favorite Generations card. Like, there's nothing really super exciting about a full art Articuno. I just love the way it looks. I absolutely love the way it looks, so I wanted to get it graded. Surface is an 8. Not perfect condition by any means, but near mint 8.5. Very cool. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite cards that I own. I used to have a better one, but I had to get rid of it, unfortunately. I really, really miss it. I had a top 8 one of these, but this is Primeape is one of my favorite Pokemon, for those of you who don't know, and this Primeape is wearing a choice band, which is just fantastic. It's a monkey that wears boxing gloves. Like, how can you not love that? It got a 9, 10 for centering, which is really cool. This is a North American Championships International from 2017. Very, very exciting choice band. That's super cool. There's the Glaceon. Another 7, near mint, not bad. Surface and corners got marked down for 7, but this card is from 2013. So this is from City Championships, back when now they have League League Cups. You hear about League Cups, League Challenges. They used to have city tournaments, and it was really a lot of fun, especially at the end of the year with kids off of school and stuff. You would have marathons of city tournaments. It was so cool. Shout out to the old days. Mint 9 for Dark Charizard. Throwback to Team Rocket. We were talking about Team Rocket before. Surface, corners, and edges all got a 9. 9.5 for centering. Very, very cool. Not too bad at all. I've had this card for a long time as well. Another Japanese card here. Oh, 2013. This is the 15th anniversary Pikachu. Near mint 8. Not bad. I've had that card for a very, very long time as well. So it's kind of just been sitting. So to get an 8, I'm more than okay with that. We got a pristine 10. So my understanding is pristine means that you've got one area that's not perfect. So like you have 10 centering, 10 surface, 10 edges, and then we've got a 9.5 on the corners. If those were all 10s, it would be a perfect 10. But this is a pristine 10 Marnie from Shiny Star V. Absolutely love that card. Very, very exciting. Then we've got an Ultra Ball this is the European International Championships. So this got a 9, which is really cool. Got marked down for surface, is an 8.5. Otherwise, very, very cool. Again, those reverse highlights, a lot of light scratching that kind of just comes, it happens. Oh no, 9.5 on the big boy. Umbreon VMAX. I looked through a couple of these. I only have a couple of them. This was the better of the two. So this got marked down, centering, surface, and corners, 9.5. Just missed, but a 9.5 Gem Mint is still really, really good. Umbreon VMAX. Obviously, we've talked about this card a million times. Card's going absolutely nuts. Very exciting. Alternate art Charizard V, same thing. 9.5 on all those areas. Gem Mint, very, very exciting. We've got another Japanese card here, and it's a 10. Oh my goodness, the Lugia from Sun and Moon promos. This is from the GX starter deck. I'm very, very excited about this. This is a perfect 10, perfect all the way around. I just love the look of this card. Look at Lugia just kind of just fighting right there. It's super cool. I just love the artwork behind it. I wanted to get it slabbed. Raichu and Alolan Raichu. This is my favorite alternate art on the beach there. Just super, super cool. Got a 9. Not too bad. 9 for, looks like corners and centering got marked down a little bit. So not too bad. 9 mint condition. Then we've got a Charizard staff from Vivid Voltage. It's tough with those staff cards because they come in a sleeve of 4. You get one of each of the pre-release promos, and they're kind of they're bound together in loose plastic wrapping. The Charizard is the second one in line, so it's kind of rubbing up against in between other cards. Got a 9 for corners, which brought it down a little bit. Overall, still, Gem Mint 9.5 is very, very good. We got another 9.5 Lugia. That was the first card in the bunch. So Staff Lugia 9.5, very, very cool. I think we've got 2 Umbreons left. I really wanted to, if you guys remember watching me open Brilliant Stars, the Umbreon V, there it is, a 9, and the Umbreon VMAX, those were like my chase cards for Brilliant Stars. Centering is an 8.5. The rest of it is all 10s. I should have looked at it better. But oh yeah, you can see at the bottom here, much thicker on the bottom than it is in the other areas. Still really, really cool. Mint 9. And then we've got, this must be the VMAX right here. So this is the last card of the bunch. Oh, it's a pristine 10. So it got marked down for centering, 10s across. So we got a few 10s, 2 for Japanese cards, 1 for English. The Umbreon VMAX, pristine 10. Very, very cool. So I'm very excited about that. We'll go through, like I said, we've got a grading for Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super and Digimon as well that we're going to go through, and I'm going to give all those cards away. So I can't wait for that. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. But I really, really, really appreciate CGC giving me this opportunity. Huge shout out to them. Thanks for sponsoring the video. And I will give more information about the whole team aspect moving forward. And just want to continue making the community better, making the game grow, making the hobby grow. Thank you very much for everything, guys. If you could leave a comment and leave a like, I would really appreciate it. It goes a long way for the algorithm. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, really appreciate you. Peace.